Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh Bashem Shai Bashem Rakakudash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers that do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners that look like the heathen, and to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. And the video that you see on the screen is by the Mississippi Survivor. Brother puts up pretty good, informative information. But all his videos are basically, carnality. And what I mean by that is that, about preparedness. He's, prepping and trying to, how to do it on a budget, because, Jake and the common folk in America don't have no whole bunch of money. Just saw an image of Khloe Kardashian in her pantry, in her, multi-million-dollar survival pantry bunker thing. But none of that's going to save you. But a lot of things that he says make sense from a physical point of view, from an earthly point of view, not necessarily from a spiritual, well, completely not from a spiritual point of view. But he's in this video, he talks about some real shit that make you think. And the name of the video is Single Women with Children, Are You Ready for the Bad Days Ahead? And the truth be said, no, they're not, and they never will be. Not if they're not, not if the Lord is not with them, or not if they're not with the man of the Lord. They're just going to be cannon fodder. They're going to be fuel for the fire, for the chaos, for that beast that is the chaos that is going to come when those days come. This is 2 Ezra 15:1, and it reads, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, lest not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speaketh against thee. For the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And so all these people who don't believe in the Lord, but believe in their AR-15, their 300 pounds of rice, and their 300 pounds of beans, and their closet full of canned goods, and their water and their water stash, and their water purifying, and and all that stuff. They believe in that, and all this is just going to be gathered up for someone else. All right, and people going to kill and take. I just watched a video that St. Benji did. It was a fire video, about how the trucking industries, all these guys are getting these CDLs, to drive these trucks, but the gas is so high, a lot of the trucking companies are going to be forced to shut down very soon. All right. He basically broke down the math. The profit margins is going to be gone. It's going to cost more money to operate than it will than your profits are coming in. All right. Because first they're going to get to where they're breaking even, and then they're going to get to the point where they're not making any money at all. So everything's about to get bad very, very soon. All right. So it says, continuing, it says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right. And all those things are going to ensue with this chaos when the famine hit, and then the next variant hit, or they try to force the next, the planned variant that hits, and then the next lockdown, and all the chaos, and people are going to lose it, man. And more than likely they're going to, everything's going to be open until midsummer. I'm just guesstimating. This is me speaking as a man. I think till after July. I think after July they're going to start trying to bring back, because 4th of July is a big holiday. They can make a little bit of money. So I think that they're going to try to keep things. Because what do you have between now and then? You got St. Patrick's Day, Salakia coming up, later this month, and then after that, then you got Easter, but they don't make a whole lot of money off Easter anymore. Most people aren't going to churches anymore. You know, the Christian church has been found out and isn't exposed. Nobody's really doing that anymore. So the next big thing after that is the 4th of July. So I'm just going to assume that after the 4th of July, tourism, you know, everything's open back up. They can make a little bit of money, but after that, they're going to start looking to shut things down. All right? Because sword, famine, and death and destruction, just like I read, is going to come when things get bad. If things are bad during the time frame that I just spoke of, we might be in utter chaos by that time, you know, because prices are going to go get ridiculous. They already are, you know. They're going to get beyond ridiculous, I would say, in about another 2 or 3 weeks. All right, it's something that I usually buy that pomegranate juice, that palm brand, and I usually drink one of those every other day. And that, you know, it depends on where you get them from. They're like anywhere from $2.50 to $3. Well, they're up to $5 now. So, you know, I won't be drinking those anymore. I just have to buy my beets and crush my beets and drink it that way. But that's good for your heart and your blood, by the way. You know, the pomegranate and the beets. But let me read verse 6 in 2 Ezra 15. It says, "For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." So basically, you know, E is at the point where they're about to fill their belly. Matter of fact, let me grab that. And because why? The digital system is in place. You know, all they need is the event. So, and everything's set up, and the event is actually happening now, which is leading up to it. You know, with this war, because as soon as the data started coming out on all the side effects for Pfizer, you know, all that stuff, all of a sudden this war kicked off, and you know, that disappeared. Fauci's not on TV every day lying his ass off. And yeah, so so this is the next thing they're gonna ride to help bring in the destruction. All right, but this is Job 20 and 23, and it reads, "When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating." So right as they're forcing everybody to, you know, to the MOTB, because that's the digital, you know, the president is now, for all you people who were saying, you know, and all of these fake camps and these sellout camps and these camps that shouldn't be, that have been saying that, you know, there is no JT, there's no Jacob's trouble, the MOTB is sin, you know, they're all going to be made to, they're really looking bad already, because that's all they're talking about in every country and almost every aspect of the financial system is talking about going digital, and how you're going to, and they're going to need a device to control that. So with that, there you go with that. But and they're on the verge of doing that. So this is another reason why, you know, all this is close that we're talking about. But let you know, about 7 to 8 minutes of this video play, and then I'll read a few more scriptures. Let's get the sound up. Okay.
You stay in an apartment complex. I'm finna make this real terrible for some people, and you're gonna really think about it. But this is the only way I can get you to think about it and make a drastic decision at some point. Be like, I gotta get out of here. So, say you stay in an apartment complex, and it's housing over 2,000 people in an apartment complex, and I think that's small compared to. I think that's small compared to some bigger cities. Uh, but nevertheless, let's say this unit is housing 2,000 people, and say this war between Ukraine and Russia, which they have already invaded Ukraine. For the people that don't know, Russia's already invaded Ukraine, in case they don't know. So you might want to keep up with that, because whatever's going on with that can affect us, and it will affect us. Anything that's happening in the world between two or whatever they're fighting about, it's going to affect us. Trust me. But back to this apartment. If you got an apartment, right, and you're in there with 2,000 other people, you got people on top of you, under you, beside you, around you, and the water gets shut off. in the entire apartment. What you gonna do? They turn the electric off. Next in line. What are you going to do? This is a day and age right now that I know there's lots of pets. People are having pets like children, like they impregnated with children. They got a lot of pets. Pets is popular right now, very popular.
That's because most of these women don't want to be women and have children, so a lot of them have pets. But let me add to his picture he just painted. When the lights go out, a lot of these single women, you're gonna get visitors, and some of you gonna get multiple visitors at once. All right, and if it's just you and your children in there, they're gonna eat all your food, all your substance, and they're gonna use your body any way that they want. All right, and they may do it to your children too, because people are sick. All right, he didn't mention that part, but a lot of you have been wicked, and you've always warned you about you carousel riders. You hook up, culture people. You hook up culture women, especially you don't get to pick, the horse on the carousel you ride. When this day comes, the carousel is gonna ride you. All right, you stepping on your head, pulling your hair, smacking you on your ass, and all that stuff. It's gonna get real bad.
So what you gonna do with no electricity and no water? I've had people say, "Hey, well, I'm just gonna put water in the toilet and let the water flush through." Ain't no good idea because it's not. If the pumping station is down, which is what we have,
Mm-hmm.
if our pumping station is down, you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna clog up somewhere else, and you don't want that. I'd rather leave that whole situation alone. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is that's going to bag back up to your house. Now you got all your waste on the last 2 months back into your house because you're trying to keep flushing it through. It's going to get stuck somewhere. It's not going to process all the way through normally the way it's supposed to because the pumping stations are down.
And they assured that this chaos would happen because the pumping stations in the past were not hooked to the power grids. Now your water is actually hooked to the power grids now, and in the past it wasn't. So when the power goes out, eventually the water is going to go out too. So that was planned destruction. All right, that was planned because that would be a horrible engineering mistake, and I mean, it was done purposely for when these days to come. So they were planning ahead for that order out of chaos.
It's one problem. So let me help you solve that particular problem. If the people that's just not going to get out the apartment, I advise for you right now to go ahead and get you a bucket. I'm going to tell you what I did. I did two things. If you want to make it simple, you can get you a 5 gallon bucket, get you some shavings, and in those shavings, put those in the bucket, and there we go. And get you a toilet seat, screw that boy to the bucket, and now you got you a nice toilet at a good height. And you can do your whatever you need to do and have your shavings. You can use grass clippings, you can use sawdust, shavings, whichever one that suits you the most. Kitty litter, whichever one you want to use. And and my thought for that is you can't buy a kid litter if something going on because the stores are going to be closed. So you need to be making you some sawdust or some grass clippings or shavings, some kind of way in that nature. That way, I like cedar because I know cedar has a rich, strong smell, and that'll help kill some of that. Now, if you just happen to have some lye with you, sprinkle you a little bit on that. If you already got it. But I'm just saying in that situation, and you won't be able to go to the store I'm thinking outside the box and just cancel that out altogether and just say, hey, let's get some cedar chips. Let's get cedar dust, whatever you want to do. Grind it up, make some dust out of it. And that's what you'll use. And get the old trusty shovel when you get done and bury it all. Finally, when you get through. That's going to solve that problem. But you still gotta have your keep up your hygiene as well. If you ain't got no water, you gotta know how to keep up your hygiene. That's your next problem. How are you gonna keep your hygiene up? You're all gonna be in there smelling like two Pink Panther gorillas.
Yeah, especially if you got women, and if you got daughters, you got females, and their monthly cycle. So hygiene is going to be extremely important. A lot of people aren't going to be able to do that. All right, I imagine some people are going to start getting sick just from that. You know, especially weaker body people with underlying conditions already. And then once the nutrition, you're not really getting food and water the way you're supposed to. And the food that we're eating now already is depleted of these nutrients. You think about the fact that you have stores like Vitamin Shop, that you have health food stores where you have to go and buy the extracts from that should already be in the food. That's a problem. That's evidence that these people are not fit to rule, and that our food is completely corrupted, because there should be no such thing as a Vitamin Shop, or something like that, because the food you're eating, all that stuff should be in the food, but everything's, controlled by the government. These people just wicked, with this GMO stuff, removing all the nutrients from food, that you actually have to buy vitamin A through Z separate, just to stay healthy, when it should be in your vegetables, in your fruit, and in your meats.
5 battle cats. I'm just saying. You had to have some backup plan for that. I told you guys before several ways that you can have your water, even
Let me
though
move this to
your power's out.
right about
I told
here.
you, stable is here solar. It's not going anywhere. You have that as well. Have different types of lighting is a must have.
Okay, yeah. Now he's talking about power
I'm gonna
sources,
tell you what. A lot of people can't afford a whole bunch of different things, different
generators, and stuff like
this and
that.
that, and all this expensive mess that they be talking about on TV. Man, please, you don't need all that. If you would go back and look at my videos, I have a video like you make these the power stations, right? I got the Go Power Plus. That's the most expensive one I bought, just about. I bought that one. Then the other one was a little bit. It was more expensive because it was out at the place that was cheaper. So I got that, and I got the Schumacher. You gotta do with your money or let you do. If you want something to do with your money, let you do, and then put some money on the side here, just for the reason of you want to get you a bigger battery operated generator, because it's quiet for one. Because you don't want that big. Look, I got one of them big loud jokers. I got one. I'm talking about it's a monster. It can run this whole house. I got one. You think I'm gonna run that joker? No. If I run that, I had to have an army stand outside beside it all night long. That boy finna get took.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody finna take that. Not only take that, you probably gonna take something else too. You too.
And there it is. All right, them loud generators. Because if they see that you have generators, if they see that your lights are on, they're gonna assume you have something, and people will come for you. And if you don't have the Lord, man, you're gonna be screwed. All right. They're gonna figure, well, if you got a generator, then you got something else. What? And like you said, they're gonna come and they're gonna take that, and they're probably gonna take you and try to take whatever you have. All right. But this is Second Ezra's let's go to Second Ezra's 6th chapter. When that power go off. Let's start at 22, verse 22, and it reads, And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. We're already seeing that, and it's going to get worse in the next couple weeks and days to come. All right? And it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear, they shall suddenly be afraid. Them sirens and them warning signs going off. All right? And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. All right, so because of the lack of food, people are going to be attacking each other. All right, and it says, and the springs and the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. All right, so a lot of people going to die, man. All right, but it says, whosoever remaineth from all these, I have told thee, shall escape and shall see my salvation and the end of your world. So the world, Esau's power structure is about to end, because why? He's about to fill his belly, man. So this thing is close. He's about to crash this dollar and start his digital system. All right? And it's going to get really bad. And can't say it enough, man. This is 2 Ezra 15:15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. The modern day sword is a gun, but guess what? They're going to actually have swords, machetes, knives, hatchets, hammers. I've always said a lot of people going to die by hammers and baseball bats. Those are ready available weapons, tire arms and butcher knives and things like that. All right. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. So they're gonna be given order to stay in the house, and lockdowns and things of that nature, and people are gonna start coming out because they're not gonna have food. And that's when these marauders and all these independent women are gonna find out that they're not strong, independent women at all. They're gonna find out that they're weak, feeble, and they're just targets. They're gonna find it out the hard way. That whole I don't need no man. All right, now you're gonna be the carousels. Everybody, you about to be everybody's girlfriend. All right, like I said, some of you gonna find yourself, handcuffed to a damn pipe in the basement or to a bed in a bedroom. All right, and men gonna be on rotation. All right, and that's reality. I'm just telling you the truth. How brutal it's gonna nasty it's gonna get out here. All right, it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So a lot of they're gonna attack a lot of public officials. All right, a lot of people are gonna be angry and want to retaliate against them. All right, and it says, for a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So people are going to be kicking in each other's doors and rummaging through their neighbor's stuff. Neighbors, people you've lived next door to for 10, 15, whatever years. All right. So get prayed up. Stay prayed up. That's the first way to prep. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Awashai Bashim Rakakudash Wa Abba Kwam Yasharala Shalom.